Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. So now let's talk silver. We have breaking news, folks. This is incredible news regarding silver demand. It's expected to set records in 2023. Plus, we have other silver news from this article and even more. We're going into some deep stuff in this video. You're going to want to kick your feet up, grab some popcorn, because we have a lot to break down in this video. Now, I specifically remember in 2022, they said record-breaking demands and, exceeded 1.21 billion ounces, but it's going to slow down, right? The next couple of years, demand is going to slow down. I knew that was BS from the get-go. Demand is only going to keep rising tenfold. I mean, solar panel production alone this year rose 15%. Every automobile company by the year 2030 is going to be an EV. I mean, for anyone to think that silver demand is just going to start to dwindle while we're headed into a new green digital technological era where silver is used for everything electronically, you're insane. It's just that's oblivious to the reality of how the world works. Best way I could put it. And like many others have said, if you really think we have enough silver for the world to go green, you are in la la land. You're a dreamer. You're not a realist. See, I'm a realist. I look at the numbers. I look at the data. It doesn't add up. Numbers don't lie either. So, speculation is half truth, mostly wrong, but numbers, they speak truths. The truth we're going to reveal, it's pretty alarming. And I say alarming because, yes, we get a pretty penny at the end of the day. Silver hits triple digits, but that still means we don't have enough silver for the world to go green to help global warming and climate change. So at what cost, right? That's the scary part, is at what cost? So we're going to dive into this. Like I said, I have an incredible video for you guys and gals today. Hope you stick through because it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as we kind of, peel back the layers to this onion. So the link to these two articles will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed this. Like this video if you do like the video, and you better subscribe because I post daily videos. So silver demand is projected to set records in 2023 and other silver news. So, this is one of the several silver-related stories in the latest edition of Silver News published by the Silver Institute. I call the Silver Institute the holy grail of information. Holy grail of information. When the Silver Institute posts their numbers, that's where everyone else gets their data from. They're the top, and they're actually extremely bullish on silver. So the demand is projected to reach a new high of 1.21 billion ounces. That would be a 16% increase from 2021. Industrial demand is on course to grow 539 million ounces, mainly driven by ongoing vehicle electrification, the growing acceptance of 5G technologies, and government commitments to green infrastructure, particularly solar power. Those are the top ones. But think of all the other ones that come with it. Cell phones, laptops, even in the medical world, you have colloidal silver, mirrors, dental alloys, silver lithium-ion batteries. I mean, think of everything. And as we move forwards in this new green era, there's going to be new inventions for silver because everything's digital now. So if we're already setting record-breaking, we're already breaking records demand-wise, and we're just really now going green, imagine how much silver we're going to need in 5 years, right? 1.21 billion ounces now. In 5 years, what is it, 3 billion? You think we can keep up with that? We can barely keep up with it now. We actually can't keep up with it now. Production has been declining. Industrial demand is on course to grow 539 million ounces. That's just from vehicle electrification alone, and think about, okay, let's break this down because some people say, well, the production rate's 950 million ounces out of the Earth's crust, or annually we produce around 950 million ounces. It's actually more realistically around 850 million ounces. But when we're looking at that, people could say, okay, well, there's X amount in the vaults. There's X amount coming out of the ground. Then you have a demand around 1 billion. That's not that. I mean, that's fine. But when you incorporate all the other variables, all the other variables, it doesn't add up. And this is the reality. Production has been declining. Demand has been rapidly increasing. Silver is being thrown away, not to be recycled. That's the part people forget. People compare it to gold. Gold is recycled, re-scrapped, reused. And that's because gold is used for coins and bars and jewelry. So that those coins and necklaces gets melted down into more coins and bars and jewelry. And it goes on repeating. And that's also because gold is, 75 times more valuable. So people are willing to scrap their grandma's jewelry and go sell it at the pawn shop. Nobody's going to scrap a necklace for $2 for silver. Plus, on top of that, since silver is used in electronics and EVs and stuff, those things get thrown away, never to be recycled. Never to be recycled. So most silver that gets dug up out of the Earth's crust is going to be thrown away within a couple of decades. Well, that ounce of gold that gets dug up is going to stay in circulation for a century plus. So we got to look at this, the macro. You got to think of the bigger picture. You can't just say, okay, well, this amount's, produced annually. This is the demand. Because when you look forwards, that's where things really start to expose itself. Right now, you could still sweep it under the rug and say, well, we can make do. But heading forwards, that's not realistic. So let's look at this. Silver has flowed out of ETFs due to tepid institutional interest. Demand for physical has been robust. Silver bar and silver coin demand is expected to jump by 18% year on year. Nobody's selling, and even more money is going to be coming in from the investment sector, not just the industrial sector, not just EVs, but people like you and I, especially when the price starts to go up. Everyone's going to hop on the silver bandwagon, and people aren't selling. I mean, look at your local coin shop. They don't have anything. Most online dealers don't even have anything anymore. So support was due to investor fears of high inflation. Obviously, the situation between the two countries going on, recessionary concerns, buying on price dips. The rise was boosted further by a near doubling of Indian demand, with investors often taking advantage of lower rupee prices. Another good point, you have Indian demand, which doubled through the roof. All the silver and gold that's being bought up mysteriously, kind of, just taken off the shelf, are from countries in the BRICS nations. Is that ironic? I don't think so. There's a whole nother level of scheming, I could call it, going on behind the scenes with precious metals. Talking about a digital currency backed by physical commodities, something that a lot of people don't even know about going on. I mean, you have this stuff on the. It's like that picture of the iceberg. You see what's on the top. On top of the water. It looks huge, but then when you look at the iceberg under the water, it's this massive iceberg. That's what's going on here as well. And not only just talking about the BRICS nations and people taking silver and gold off the shelves for those reasons, but also manipulation, the COMEX facade. There's so many layers to this thing, and I try to break it down and dissect all these different, these different situations on my channel, because I want people to understand the truth. Silver's price is manipulated, but it won't be for too much longer when you apply the fundamentals like supply and demand. Silver jewelry and silverware were set up to surge by 29% and 72%, respectively, to 235 million ounces and 73 million ounces in 2020. With mine production only projected to increase 1%. The global silver market's forecast to a record second consecutive annual deficit in 2023. At 194 million ounces, this will be a multi-decade high and 4 times the level seen in 2021. That is very alarming, given the now new information that's public. The latest edition of Silver News also highlights some other fascinating technological advances utilizing the white metal, along with some developments in the silver market. Here are some highlights, and here we go. This is even, like I was just saying, more inventions every day needing silver. NASA has developed a silver ion engine to propel spacecraft. The system uses solid silver as the fuel source, accompanied by an electrolyte composed of silver film. A Canadian photographer is documenting landscapes of that country's Rocky Mountains, but not with modern digital imaging. Instead, former tour company Bill Howe is using 19th century method known as collodion wet plate. And I'm assuming it's pronounced collodion because you have colloidal silver, or maybe collodion. But it relies on silver-based chemicals that he uses to process photos in his 50-seat bus converted into a mobile darkroom. There's some other things as well. Um, Researchers at the Wuhan Botanical Garden shown that kiwi fruit harvest can largely be saved from natural bacteria rot within silver applications, and that's because silver has antimicrobial properties. By the way, silver, if you don't know, is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity. Election ink is used to dab the fingers of voters. Yada yada. Silver nanoparticles. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Obviously, new inventions are going to keep coming out, right? That's a given. And that's why silver is the most important metal in the world, the most important thing in the world, because not only is it saving the planet, right? We're talking about global warming and climate change. Silver would be the reason that doesn't happen. If we don't have enough silver to make solar panels, or don't have enough silver to make EVs, and we're talking about zero net emissions by the year 2040, that's not possible. You have to cut back the production of Tesla, cut back the amount of, solar panels. I mean, we're talking about some realistic things. People think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. When you look at the numbers, it's just not realistic. And I don't think people are going to realize that until 2025, 2024, 2025. And that's when I say silver's going to hit triple digits, because that's when silver's true value will start to be known publicly. So silver yesterday settled up 0.23%. We're just going to... okay, so let's look at this. Recession concerns by looming supply shortages. Traders remain focused on China after several countries decided to insist on negative tests for travelers arriving from China. Geopolitical risks triggered by the invasion ramped up demand for bullion investments. And then Western sanctions threatened supply from major producer and lifted prices to a peak, 73,000. So another thing, I was making actually a couple of videos talking about the situations that are happening that's pushing silver to extremely bullish potential. One of them was China reopening, since China is the largest producer. But there's several different factors. I mean, all these different things, it's like the stars are aligning. It's like the perfect storm is here, and everything is kind of just fitting into this puzzle piece. And when you step back and look at the bigger picture, nothing makes as much sense as silver. Nothing is as explosive. And if someone's watching this video or watches my videos and sees all these different articles and all this evidence that I'm talking about and that I'm showing, and you think there's a better investment out there, I don't know what to tell you, because I can guarantee that nothing has as many advantages and as much potential as silver does. Nothing else does. And we're talking about real money, right? We're not even just talking about profit taking. We're not just talking about, okay, you could make $100,000 when you sell. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about something that holds its value, that is extremely useful, as well as the dollar is collapsing before our eyes. So let's see if there's anything else in here. Okay, so limiting the yearly gains, the rise in interest rates from major central banks to combat inflation drove investors out of bullion to interest-bearing securities, while the tight monetary setting reduced demand for silver as an industrial input, tracking the mid-year decline for copper. Still, looming supply concerns drove silver to outperform gold and palladium in 2022. COMEX inventories fell 70% in the last 18 months. To just over 1 million tons, and the LBMA Association stockpiles fell sharply amid outflows to India. Think about this, right? There's so much that just was spoken there, and it's not looking hot. I mean, yes, it looks very bullish for silver prices, but we're talking about the LBMA, the COMEX vaults, even the LME. All these vaults are near empty. And if we look at demand rising and people not selling, the COMEX is in a very sticky situation last time. Well, look what happened in the nickel market, something just like this. And then you could even, I've made videos talking about if the COMEX collapses, this is what it would look like, X, Y, and Z. And you could already start to see some of these things. And then eventually it's going to, people trying to turn their contract into physical delivery, it's going to be extremely delayed, which we already see happening. And at some point, the entire market could just freeze or even collapse. And then if you look at what happened in the nickel market, same thing. I mean, this isn't just this isn't some myth or conspiracy. These are things that are very realistic that have happened with other metals. So technically, the market's under fresh buying as the market has witnessed a gain in open interest by 1.19% to settle at 21,424, while prices are up 158 rupees. I'm not gonna go into all that stuff. So yeah. Right now, more information just shows that silver is a ticking time bomb. Demand projected to hit records in 2023. Please like the video if you do like this video, and with other stacking channels as well. A lot of times you think, oh, well, me liking the video is not going to do anything, but it really does. Engagement is key, and watching through the video, because most of the good stuff we got in this video was towards the end. So if you just click off within the first 30 seconds, one, it's not doing yourself anything, and it definitely isn't doing the channel anything. So I do appreciate people that watch through. Like, if you're hearing me tell you that right now, pat yourself on the back, because you didn't click off thinking you know everything or that you don't need to know anymore. You're open-minded and you're willing to soak up all this information, important information. It's going to translate into your stacking strategy. It really is, and that does pay off. Ignorance and closed-mindedness doesn't go anywhere. You need to be educated, and this is stuff that's very important. So, be proud of yourself if you're still watching through this. I'm not kidding about that. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Go check out the video I made earlier today. Actually, I think I'm going to post this video. I don't know. I might be posting this video Wednesday morning. Probably Wednesday morning, because I already. But regardless, go check out my most recent video. I talked about the best 3 silver coins, or the best 3 types of silver for 2023. Very, very good video. I showed some of my stack. Very fun video if you like to see actual silver and gold in bars in front of your face. Go check that video out. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.